and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your host Daniel.
And Daniel.
And today, two special guests are joining us. We have Dammit Dom and GameheadGeek. Say hi, guys.
What up?
What up?
So, obviously we have our special guests and our friends here for a reason, because we're going to be doing our top 100. Right now, this episode is going to be number 50 through 41. As we're going through this list, we wanted to bring these two guys on to hear what their thoughts are and their reactions. Do you guys have any thoughts before we get into this?
I like to make a caveat on mine. I know you guys, I think, did like plays as well, but since I never kept up with mine, my top 1 through 50, this is just all the games I own. So
don't worry. The same is for me. I only rate games, or I only rank games that I own as well. So even though Return to Dark Tower is a game that I really enjoy, it's not going to be on my list because I don't own a copy. How about you guys? How did you figure it out?
I did all my plays, and I probably will gonna cut that down in half next time because I did almost 7,000 matchups.
I did all my plays as well, and that ended up 4,500 matchups. So yeah, it'll probably be cut down if I do this again.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to rank it out. So keep that in mind. These are our favorite 50 games. We're going to have separate videos for all of our 51 through 100 for each of us separately. So stay tuned for that. But, gents, are we ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
As always, I'm going to flip my coin of doom. And for somehow that's going to choose how we do a round of 4.
All right, starting with GameheadGeek, you're number 50.
My number 50 is White Castle.
Wow.
Already. Woo!
I mean, playing that, because I've even played it solo, and it's just, I like worker placements, and then you'll probably see that and deck builders very high in this list. But, it was a great game, so it is in my 50 for sure.
That's cool. Also, we're going to keep track of how many crossovers we have. GameheadGeek, do you have a prediction of who you're going to cross over with the most over this top 50?
Probably Dammit Dom. And Danny. No, Daniel, sorry.
I'm probably in the outlier on every one of these.
I was about to say, we might have crossovers, you and I, but I don't think it's going to be as much. I think Dom will be the most.
Yeah.
Daniel will be the second, you'll be the third.
I know. I was telling them, I was like, I think you and I will have crossovers, but the weird niche ones that are yeah. But all right, so my number 50 is going to be one that's new to my list, technically, even though I've had it for a long time, and I used to combine this with a different game, Star Trek Panic. Really enjoy it. Love Star Trek Panic. I've never had it on my list before, and I think that's because I lumped it in with Castle Panic.
Really?
Yeah, but so now this is technically new to my list on a technicality, but Star Trek Panic, I feel like they're different enough where it's worth a warrant. So number 50, Star Trek Panic.
Alright, well, this will be a surprise for these guys, because my number 50 is Harmonies.
Wow.
Whoa!
I mean, he's played it so many times this year already.
I was about to say, yeah, you just introduced us to it last week.
It was already his 5th play of it.
Woo! You love that game.
So no, I didn't think it was going to be up there, and then I started ranking, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I do really like this game. It's simple, it's easy. It's great for new groups of people, as well as if you have a couple of veteran gamers. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, Harmonies for sure. Number 50.
Is Harmony the one where it looks like the Lion King artwork kind of?
Yeah, yes. The play, the Broadway, yeah.
Okay.
Really beautiful.
All right, so my number 50 has been on my list. You and me have done this multiple times, twice.
Once in 2023 and once in 2022.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
So we've done this twice. The first time it showed up was at number 12. It is dropped. It actually climbed from the last time we did it. It was at 77 last time, and it's just because we got an extra play of it this year. And this is Twilight Imperium 4th Edition. I do really still enjoy this game, even though it can be a really long game at times. Sure. I think both 3-player games I've played of this has been nearly 5 hours. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. I love the 4X capabilities of it, as well as when we were talking about it last week when we did the Tiny Epic Galaxies, the choosing of the action, I get a really powerful action, but other people still can do that same action. I do love that concept.
Yep. Cool.
All right, you're 49, Gamehead.
So my 49, this one was probably my first introduction to dungeon crawls. And I think I picked up all your expansions and everything for it. It is Mice and Mystics.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. No, that was a good one. I did enjoy that game. We beat it and we're done with it, so.
Yeah, and it's one of those that when the kids get just maybe a little bit older, that's definitely one I want to play with them because I think they get a kick out of it. So, but Mice and Mystics is my number 49. I mean, just the overall storytelling in that, and I really wish, because I know at one point when Plaid Hat was like at the peak of what they were doing, there was talks of them turning it into a show, and I kind of wish they would have because I think it would have been, I mean, a really good like anime series or something like that.
It would have been a good Netflix cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's what it was. I think they had signed up to Netflix or something like that.
That's awesome. Good choice. All right, my number 49 is a game that was previously at 87 last time and 76 the time before that, so this is the highest ranking it's done. This is a two-player game that just keeps climbing my list. Lost Cities, Thames and Cosmos. Absolutely love this two-player back-and-forth tug-of-war game. He hates it because he hates two-player games. We all know that. Everybody does it.
I don't want to do the math.
Oh, man. I like it so much. I love the give and take on it. The press your luck aspect nature of it. Really simple mechanisms. Amazing game. Lost Cities. Been around forever and a half for a reason. So, 49.
All right. My 49. Well, we're going to go with how Bryce went with Devere to begin with. I'm going to go with Devere now, except mine is Red Cathedral. So...
The other one.
Yeah, that's the other one, yep. So I like the rondelle and the moving the dice, and it works really well.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and I've got a couple of plays on it, so yeah, it was just one of those games. It was just like, yeah, this one makes a lot of sense.
Good question. You think that's going to be on my top 100?
I think there's a chance.
Okay, fair enough. We shall see.
We shall see. My number 49 has been on this list twice before. It climbed as high as 18. That was last year. Before that, it was 23, and now it's dropped all the way down to 49, and that is just because of its predecessor, or not its sequel in a sense. And this is Role Player from Thunderworks game. I do like it. I like the fact that they made a game about building a fantasy character, but I've been playing the campaign version of it, Role Player Adventures. It's fantastic. So the only time I really busted this out lately was to build the characters that we moved into that game. So, but yes, Role Player is mine 49. It went as high as 18, which was last time.
Cool.
To you, Gamehead.
Number
All right,
48.
So we are on 48. This one is... I have a feeling if I do have a crossover, this would probably be one maybe with Danny. It's Azul. The original's Azul. Just because of like the tile placement and everything, the ease of play. Like this is something I've played several times, and like that whole being able to switch it over to the other side and just make your own patterns and still fall into that concept is a really cool. I mean, it's still, I think, one of the best Azul games out there, out of everything that they've come up with.
You know, it's much better than Queen's Garden.
Don't get us started. All right.
I didn't mind that one that much. I mean, I know you guys hated it, but I didn't mind that one that much.
Yeah. We're probably in the minorities. Probably not. My number 48. Last was on my... It was never on the top 100 list. It climbed up quite a bit. Last time it was ranked number 236. And so I never talked about it prior to that. But this is a two-player abstract strategy game called Pylos from Gigamic Games. I really adore the two-player wooden abstract games. This one just has a bunch of marbles, stacking them in a pyramid. You want to be the last one to place your marble on top. And there's ways to mitigate, like by putting certain patterns or combining it or jumping them up to new levels that lets you, like, manage your resources in a way where you're not expending your marbles from your supply as quickly. I think it's a really fun little game. It's probably solvable, but yeah, I like it a lot. Pylos.
All right. My 48 is Underwater Cities. So it combines two mechanisms that I really like. Worker placement and then, multi-use cards.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
So, you put it out there. You try to get the best thing possible out there with Underwater Cities by placing your worker out there and then playing the card that matches the same color, and you get tons of stuff with it. And it's resource management. It's just a game that really, really works for me. So
cool. It's
my number 48.
All right, moving on to my 48. It's been on my list twice before. It was 98 2 years ago, or whenever we did the first one. It is now 40 because we completed the story. It is a legacy game, and I really adore this game. I wish you could still find it out in the public. You really can't right now, and this is Betrayal Legacy. I love the story on it. It has fantastic, memorable moments when we talk about our game immersion and stuff like that. The chanting as we're bringing out that little piece out, and the fact that we kept sliding it across trying to get it as much as we can away from us. It was a fantastic game. I really did enjoy this with our gaming group, and I wish people can experience this one. It's one of the harder ones to find right now because I think it's out of print.
Yeah, could be. We even chanted "Ooga Chaka,
Ooga Chaka" every time we.
All four of us played it. It was so memorable.
How old is that game that it's out? It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. That should be out of print. That's surprising.
2017, 18, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. 18. That's at least 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Off to our number 47.
My 47, and I feel that this might go up a little bit higher for me in the future if I ever do this again, is Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven, and I haven't... Spoilers, there's something a little bit higher, but Gloomhaven, I've been playing it a lot lately more on my PC than I have my actual board game. Just because pulling out that box of stuff to get all the tiles and everything, I can't remember if they did it. I think it was only Frosthaven where they started the books again, where you can lay out the books.
Yeah, I think they did it in one of the most recent Kickstarters. You can get the books for both Frosthaven and Gloomhaven.
Oh, so they have it for Gloomhaven.
I think so.
That might bring that up a little bit more, because I would love to play my board game more, but just trying to organize and get that thing to the table is such a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's my number 47 is Gloomhaven. Awesome storyline. It's a nice fantasy that has nothing to do with like your standard like elves and dwarves, that type of stuff. So,
all right, my number 47, which I 100% agree with you, GameheadGeek. My number 47 climbed from 123 last time I did this list, and that is Codenames, the base game. 2-player Spiel des Jahres winner, or two team versus team Spiel des Jahres winner, and I know why it's ranked lower, and it'll become obvious later on.
All right, my number 47 is probably gonna surprise a few people that is actually this high on the list.
Chutes and ladders this high?
No, I think a lot of people expect this to be lower on my list. I know it will be lower on somebody else's list, but it did just have a Kickstarter, and it probably will rise after that Kickstarter. That's Cthulhu Death May Die.
Oh.
So, and I know a few people are probably expecting that in the top 20, but it just... I only get to play it a couple times a year, so it hasn't kind of hit that point where it's just like, yes, go to.
I've noticed a lot of the ones that dropped on my list is because of how less I get to play them. And that was a factor when I was thinking about it.
See, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like that's a tough thing for me because I don't get to play as much as you guys do. And so some of these games have only been played like once or twice, but I still feel like they're higher even as long as I've had them or as short as I've had them. So,
right.
All right, so my number 47 is a new game to my list here, and this one is the Mistborn deck building game. I really did enjoy this play of it. I love deck building games. I love the metal burning, and it probably a big part of it too is I'm a huge fan of the series. So it's probably going to climb higher as we're going. It's just if I play it more, but that play of it was fantastic. I really enjoyed the fact that there's so many different ways to win it, and there is a co-op version that you can play as well. So my number 47, Mistborn, the deck building game.
All right. My number 46 is Almanac. This is a worker placement game. And again, I thought this was just such a cool design when Dammit Don showed us this, where it's just a book. And then whoever's in charge or in the lead at the end of each round gets to choose where we get to go. And that changes the whole game every round. So you're not constantly playing the same thing. And you're not going and doing the same, like, oh, go to this location, go to this location. It really did change it up. And no matter how many times you play that, it always feels different because of those different arcs that you could choose. So that is my number 46 Almanac.
All right, my number 46 might actually surprise you guys quite a bit. This is one of my favorite designers, Stefan Feld. Previously, it was 21 and 9 before that. This is Castles of Tuscany, and
I'm like, no way, no way.
No way what? I said it was Castles of Tuscany. I don't know what you guys
I know
did.
you were trying to hint at, and all three of us were not falling for that trap.
I know. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, yeah, we'll find out if Castle of Burgundy is on the list later. But Castles of Tuscany, I really enjoy. I love how streamlined it is, and it's really cool how it works. But yeah, previously it was almost in the top 20 and top 10 before, and it's dropped down just because, I have Castle of Burgundy too, so I like both of them. Castles of Tuscany, my number 46.
All right, my number 46 is Sleeping Gods. This will be the first of Ryan Lockett.
I still need to get this one played.
I just love the open world nature of this game. It is... you can do anything you want. You can go anywhere. It's great. You just you go somewhere. You read a passage. If you have the keyword, you can do it. If you don't, you go, okay, I want to find that keyword, and you start looking for it. So I mean, it's just a great game all around. So that's my number 46, Sleeping Gods.
All right, my number 46 is probably going to be the start of the run in this one of not in this episode, but pretty soon through this top 50 grouping. This is the first Dammit Dom on my list. This is one of those games that I had to go out and buy after I played this game of it. They just recently had a Kickstarter for an expansion for this one, and I really love engine builders, and this is about building robots. This is called Raising Robots. New to the list, because it's basically a brand new game since last year.
Really cool.
Again, it's a fun theme about being children, building robots, and stuff like that. I love the little tongue-in-cheek aspects of the little hidden pieces out there. So it's like, this is legally distinct from, but this is Wall-E from Disney, or this is Lizzie, basically Elizabeth Hargrave, and you're dealing with birds and stuff like that. So I loved all that little tongue-in-cheek humor. So like I said, this is the first of the Dammit Dom picks.
Lovely art.
Oh yeah,
it's really so. The characters are fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss that. I mean, I always feel like when they used to be Kickstarted, they always try to put that tongue-in-cheek, like, this is the Terminator, but we can't call him the Terminator. Like, I really like that when they do that type of stuff. So, we're on 45, right?
Yep.
45. This one isn't a Dammit Dom, this is a Daniel issue, and this was Fallout Shelter. As a matter of fact, it's back on you can see it in your shelf back there. Again, it is another worker placement game, and the fact that when you're playing it, monsters can then drop down and they will then affect your areas that you can go to really made this one interesting and fun. And even someone who doesn't play, I never played the Fallout games, like this really, I liked the IP and I thought it matched really well. It was definitely one I had to pick up as soon as I played it.
Fallout Shelter, I'm increasingly impressed by that game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Alright, my number 45 is what the oldest game on my list here. It was previously number 49 and 69 in the previous time before that. Yeah, so it's climbed up every single time. I just love this. Every time I show it to people, they're surprised how fun it is. This is Senate from ancient Egypt. It has no right being as good as it is.
Can we get any older than that?
No, you actually can't. That is the oldest game on my list, historically. Yeah, Senate, I love that game. So good. I don't think that's going to be a crossover. Spoilers. I think I'm the only one.
And a roll and move at that, too.
And a roll and move, yeah. They fixed it. It's good.
My number 45, I actually just had a second edition done of it. But I still, or actually, technically it's a 3rd edition now. I still like the original one, and that is Ethnos.
Oh, okay.
I like the card collecting and area control, and the fact that when you put out your area control token, you have to put the rest of your hand down, and everybody else gets to pick over before you get to start picking it back up. So it's one of those games that, to me, it always just keeps coming back to the table.
Yeah.
We're just not fans of it because it's not very colorblind friendly compared to like Archaeo Society, and the 2nd edition looked really good too now. Looks a lot more friendly. All right, moving on to my 45. This one took a bit of a tumble. It dropped 41 spots. This was only on my list last time. It was at number 4. And this one is it's because of lack of play, because it is a longer game. I love the game, though. I love the mechanism. And it has a decent expansion. And again, it dropped because of limited play. And this is Ark Nova. I do really like the building a zoo aspect of it. I love that theme on there. I love the mechanism where I can take this at a power 2 and slide it down, or I can take this as a power of 5, but now it drops down, but everything else below it climbs, and so that my next action could be a power 5 of gaining animals or something like that. And I love that little push and pull, and the fact that you could upgrade these to become better powers and stuff like that. I know GameheadGeek's not a fan of this game because of the fact that he got negative.
This is one game I want to play it again one more time. Now that I understand, like you can't stick with something and you just have to keep going. Because that was my issue. Like, I really want to try to make this work, and then I'm like, oh, I can't. I'll try switching it, and then it just, by the time it got to the end of the game, I was like, well, this sucks. Like, I'm at negative points. Like, so
it's because it's one of the few games where you have to cross the tracks, and so I do like that aspect. This is very difficult. It's like, oh, I'm making all these points, but if I'm not selling tickets, we're kind of screwed.
Yep.
But yeah, Ark Nova. All right, Gamehead Geek, you're 44.
44 is The Reckoners. This might have been a little bit higher, I feel, if it I love all the components in there, and it's great, and it is easy to set up compared to other things, but this one can kick your butt really bad if you're not paying attention, and I feel like that's the only thing that it puts it a little bit lower for me, is that I've had my butt kicked by this game multiple times, a couple times with Dom, a couple times with everybody else, and I'm just like, oh, I love this, but oh my god.
You know what I find funny about this? This is the second Brandon Sanderson series on this list, and he doesn't even design board games.
I just find it funny that's a Dammit Dom game.
It is a Dammit
Dom game. Dammit Dom's made it twice on this list.
That's funny. All right, my number 44 is a press your luck. My two favorite mechanisms are tile placement and press your luck. So you'll probably see a lot of those on this. This is the first one I'm going to be talking about for press your luck. I've had this in my collection for a long time. Previously 26 and then 85 before that. Dead Man's Draw. This pirate themed press your luck game. I've since played the other one that's really popular. I don't remember the name of it, but it's also a press your luck pirate themed card game. But yeah, this one you have 10 suits. Pull a second of a suit, you bust. Otherwise, you just keep going, and each suit has its own special action, trying to get the most points. I adore this game. Dead Man's Draw, phenomenal. My number 44.
Press your luck.
Danny, I know you can't see it, but when you said it, both their faces dropped. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, there's another really well-known press your luck pirate card game.
I know another pirate card game that's Libertalia, but I don't know about a press your luck one.
No, it's very similar to Dead Man's Draw, but Steve Jackson, Port Royale, that's it. Port Royale is Dead Man's Draw is just a little bit above it for me. We're just quietly giggling to ourselves. This is terrible for it.
You're all looking at the camera, and so you can't see it, and these two are just like.
All right, so my number 44, Danny will be very happy with this because he sees it as a Seven Wonders killer.
I will?
Yeah. It's a Wonderful World.
Wonderful World, yep.
So from the standpoint of Seven Wonders, it's a drafting game, same thing, except in this one you actually get your resources and you get to choose what you build. you can get a copy of it. It is great. I mean, it's just fun to play. And the thing is, you use your resources immediately. There's 5 different resources. As soon as you get it, you use it. You can basically activate a card, get more resources as you go.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Great game.
Yeah, it's a good game. I don't know if it fell on my list or not, so that's what I was looking for.
I don't know if we played it this last year, did we?
We haven't played it, but I own it. It's up there.
So you're going by plays, not own.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I missed it. What was it?
It's a Wonderful World. It's a drafting game, kind of futuristic.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet.
But I have played it.
In the future. Yeah, it's a great game.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
Great game.
So my number 44 is not a Dammit Dom. It's a Dammit Danny game.
Finally!
This is a fantastic game that we enjoyed. It made its appearance on the last Top 100 that we did. It went as high as 29. It dropped a little bit, and it's just because we haven't played it. I do have an expansion for it. I want to get played because it has one of my favorite mechanisms, multi-use cards. It has a very macabre theme on it, though, about murdering your hotel visitors or hiring them to help you, and this is the Bloody Inn. This is a fantastic game.
Yeah,
I enjoy everything about it. I love the artwork on it. It's just it hasn't got played in a while, and that's the main thing. But it is a fantastic component quality for it too. Mm-hmm. Though the rule book does need work because it took us forever to figure out who the police were in that game because everything has a symbol on it except for the police. Yeah. So, but the Bloody Inn, fantastic game.
That's one I need to play. I haven't played that one yet.
Still I haven't played that one either.
Oh, you would like it a lot, Tom. You really would. Bryce, I think you would like it too.
It's the one where like the cards are see-through, right?
No. You're thinking Gloom.
No, okay. Bloody Inn is it's a multi-use card games where you're having hotel guests come in and either you're trying to kill them, but you have to make sure you bury the bodies before the police show up, or you're hiring people to help you kill your guests, and then you take their loose change out of their pockets for your money.
Okay.
Yeah. Although if you don't kill them and they just leave your hotel, they pay you $1, so that's cool. Or they're worth like 26 if they're dead, so that's cool. All right.
So my number 43 is Ready, Set, Bet. It's a fun game, especially with pulling out the tablet and just letting the horses go because there's stand-up moments of like, go you stupid horse, I have all my money on that. And then like you'll just have that one person that's like, you know what? I'm going to bet on the worst odds possible, and that horse wins, and they because they won that one round, they've won the entire game because they have so much money after their odds come up. You're just like, ugh. So, I am a little disappointed.
So, like true life gambling.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of those that I didn't get. I really wish I would have, and I hope they do another printing of it, of the like collector's edition where they gave you like actual poker chips. I thought I had backed it, but I guess I had not, and so it's passed already. I'm like, dang it! But
I backed it, but I only backed it at the lowest thing for I can get it to the pledge manager, and I was like, I can't afford it. I like the game, but just there was too much going on.
Yeah, I think I was in the same boat. That's why it didn't go through. Because I remember putting I think like $1 in. So,
all right.
Yeah, John DeClaire, good stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, my number 43 is another Phil Walker Harding game, previously at 24, and then at 30, so it's dropping just a little bit here and there.
Not too bad.
But not too bad. I just adore this game. Summer Camp, his only attempt at deck building that I've seen. Maybe more will be in the future, but I like the different decks of cards you could use for different activities, whether it's creativity, whether it's sports, whether it's arts and crafts, whatever. You're combining these decks and working in different ways that make sense thematically to what they're doing. But then, of course, the different trails that you're going for each of the decks is a track system, and I love track systems. So, yeah, he pulled it off like that. It's so satisfying. Every card you play just feels good. Summer Camp, phenomenal game. My number 43.
The only thing I have a downside with this one is I wish it get picked up by somebody else because the card quality on those things is that's the only thing I hate about that game.
That's the only bad thing about it.
Yep, that's the only complaint.
But it'd be perfect for an expansion. Oh my god, it would be so easy to expand that game.
All right.
So my number 43 is a game from Portal Games, actually. So let's see, you might see a couple Portal games on here. It's 51st State. I do have the Ultimate Edition. Mm-hmm. It's the theme works for me, post-apocalyptic. the card play, because the cards are multi-use. Just, you can decide whether you want to build it if it's a building, if you want to use it if it's a person, or you can flip it over and get income off of it. So it's just one of those games that, like I said, multi-use cards. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and try it out and see what happens. And yeah, this is a game that as soon as they brought that Ultimate Edition out on GameFound, I jumped on that right away. So that's 51st State.
Yeah, I do own it. I don't know if it made my top 100. Mind you, I wrote my list out back in January or like early January, so I don't know exactly where it fell, if it landed on the list, but I do own it. It is a Dammit Dom game. It's on the shelf back there. It's just hidden by other games. But yeah, no, this is a fantastic one.
Yeah.
All right, my number 43 is new to the list. We were kind of talking about it off camera just early. It was one of your first ones out. This is one of the newest Stonemaier games, and it's just because it's worker placement, and they change. They get stronger as they go, or they can end up hibernating if they get too strong. And this is Apiary. This is the game that really put Connie Vogelman on my map. She has another game out that from Stonemaier that I also enjoy. I don't know where it falls on the list, so I won't mention it just in case it's higher. But I do love this one. Plus, bees in space. Who doesn't like that theme?
This is one I definitely need to pick up, and it's sat in my cart. I just have not pulled the trigger, but yes, it is a great game.
All right, you're 42.
My number 42, and this was a game that I thought would have been a little bit higher in my list, but it falls here, and it's Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Oh.
Again, push your luck aspect. I love the catch-up mechanic of I think it's like the mice or the rats or whatever it is.
Yeah, the rat tails.
Yep. And again, it's one of those things that this game, since it has different like recipe books or whatever you want to call them, it does make the differences and change and everything like that. So it doesn't feel the same as it always does. I definitely want to pick up the expansions for this because I just only have the base. But this is definitely a game that I like pulling out because I can get anybody to play this kind of thing because it's easy and it's fun.
Cool.
And bag pulling is always fun.
Yeah,
I like it because of the egging on.
Hell yeah.
Danny, take another one.
Come on, you can do it.
What's the worst one?
I'll pull one if you pull one.
Not the 3. Yeah. All right, my number 42 is probably the prettiest one on here so far. Last time it was 23, and it was new to my list as that time. Jumped straight into 23. I still really like this, even though it dropped about 20 spots. This is Trekking Through History from Underdog Games. I think this is just a fantastic game. I like how you're taking the card, you're trying to get them in order, but then also at the same time, you're also, depending on where they're at, you're going to get icon or tokens for what icons are on the card, plus where they're at on the card row. So you're aiming for 2 very different things, and they work very well together. And every once in a while, you'll get just the right card. You're like, this is like 1 year later. This is perfect. Boom. And I get all the tokens I need. Fill out my itinerary. Beautiful components. Beautiful art. Great solid game. Anybody could play it. And it tricks you into learning. Like, any game that does that is fascinating. So Trekking Through History. That's my number 42.
So my number 42, actually, I'm very surprised it is actually this high on the list, or actually, should I say this low on the list. It's another CMON game, and I was actually surprised that it beat out Death May Die. But the real-time aspect of this game is kind of what makes it, because it's just pure chaos, and that's Project Elite. So, 2 minutes of, you plan everything out, and then 2 minutes of pure chaos, and nothing goes right. And then you go back and you plan it all out again and hope it works.
And it all goes downhill.
And it all goes downhill. So that's my number 42, Project Elite.
I thought this was going to be in your top 10.
Yeah, I thought so too. But honestly, I need to play it more myself. So.
Well, the downside is you can't find it. I want this game so much, and I can't find it anywhere.
All right, my number 42 is one that's been on my list twice already. It went as high as 18 the first time, and it dropped to 37. So it's dropping again at 42, but I mean, it's still relatively in the same area with all the games we've been playing lately. I have a cool version of it made by my friend over here, GameheadGeek, and this is one of my favorite dexterity games. This is Tumbling Dice. I've had nothing but a good time with this game. I have a blast every time we play this game. And I really, we've talked about it before on the podcast, but I really love that one when we went to a local game con, and they had a big giant version of them where throwing inflatable dice on there, and just everybody was having a good time and giggling. And that's just what this game is. This is when we're talking about, like, the games don't have to be good, just be fun. And this is a fantastic example of that. It's not a great game by any means. It's fun. But, I mean, there's much heavier, much more games on here. But this one is just fun. And that's why I love this one so much. And that's Tumbling Dice.
I actually played this just a couple nights ago.
Oh, nice.
And we played it about 4 times back to back. Because it's great for that.
And that's usually how it goes. Like, that's what I love about that game. That's like an all-night game. Just sit there and relax, have friends over. Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot, my kids can play that without any problems. I love that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, your last one for this one.
Last one for this one. This is probably, again, one of my newer games. And I'm surprised it's this high up, but it is Comic Hunters.
Oh, okay.
Just the overall aspect of going to different areas to then collect those comics and just try to build out your what is it, the logos for everything on that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I definitely like this. Again, this is one of those that I know the price point made it what it was, but I definitely need to do some upgrades for this because there's some very, like, pieces in there that I'm just like, you could have done something a little bit better than this. I wouldn't mind spending like an extra $5 just so I had not a piece of paper as a
token
marker.
Right?
Yeah, that's Spin Master for you. Yeah.
So.
I wish I would have played this one when you guys played it.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah, you missed out terribly. This would have been your number.
This probably would have been in the top 50. Yeah.
It's one I got to get to.
Well, what I find funny about Comic Hunters, and the reason why I think Gamehead Geek likes it, and I do enjoy it, but it didn't make my top 100, is because of the simple fact that it's because we were both comic book collectors that led to this whole... Because we went to the comic shops looking for comics, and you roped us all in.
So I stopped buying comics and started buying more expensive things for that, by the way.
Right. Yeah, no, it's just a little bit more expensive. So my number 41 is our first crossover on this episode. Do you guys have any guesses what
the
it
Bloody
is?
End.
Have any guesses?
Nah.
This is with Gamehead Geek. This is the Quacks of Quedlinburg. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was my number 43 last time, and 15 was the first time I did this list. It was that high. Yeah, oh man, everything you said about Quacks. I adore this game. It's so good. It's super random. It's not like overly random. Like you do a lot of good stuff. The pressing your luck aspect of it is so fun. The bag building is so fun. The fact that they have different abilities for every potion ingredient, it's so good. I can't recommend this game enough. It's just pure distilled fun in a game. So Quacks of Quedlinburg, my number 41.
All right. Well, my number 41 is going to shock this guy over here that is actually here, but none of us have gotten this one back to the table, and that's the problem. It came out with a cool expansion last year that I really want to try, but it ended up at 41 because Viticulture just, we haven't gotten to the table to play, and I really want to try that new co-op expansion.
Yeah.
The worker placement right there is the biggest thing about it. And the fact that you have 4 spots, but you can use all your workers on the first section of the year and just go on. That's one of the great things. Like, you get to decide, and then you have that grande worker that just
pushes his way in.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to take this spot anyway. You can't stop me. So
I'll show you worker placement.
So, I mean, yeah, and it looks at second Stonemaier on the list, and the second Stonemaier on. So yeah, that's just it. Viticulture. Like I said, my number 41.
All right, my number 41 and the last one for this episode is another crossover from this very list. Can you guess from who?
Dumb.
Really?
What? All right, hold on. Let me guess it. It's definitely not Senate. I'm going to guess summer camp.
You're correct. It was as high... the first time we did this, it was at 29. It dropped to 26, and now it dropped to 41. And again, it's another one of those that just doesn't get played a lot, but I do enjoy it. Simple deck builder. I love the theme of it. I agree with everything you said about summer camp. It is a fantastic theme. It lends itself to good expansions and stuff like that. There's still room in the box, but I agree with GameheadGeek. The card quality could have been a lot better, especially for a deck building game. And that's my biggest complaint about it, is that since it's a deck building, you're going to be shuffling those decks all the time. Could have been slightly better. And then when you sleeve it, I know it's harder to get back into the deck boxes for those specific cards and stuff like that.
They will fit, though.
They will fit. It's just going to be a lot harder.
Very tight.
And another thing I really love about it is because it's so modular. You're only using 3 of the, 9 in there? 7, something like that. So, yeah, it's a fantastic game. Summer Camp.
Very good. With that being said, that was it for our number 50 through 41. Tell us what your favorites are, or which ones you agree with any of us are. What crossovers you would have had as well. If you ever want to join us or email us directly, we have an email at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. Email us for future ideas for episodes, or to enter in contests that we may or may not be running. And finally, just to say hi. We also have an Instagram at instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Check it out, where we post silly stuff all the time.
And all video re-uploads are found, and reviews are found on YouTube under youtube.com/everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
We also stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Please subscribe there, or follow us there, so that way you'll be notified whenever we stream on our live episodes and join in on the chat. And if you gift us with a subscription, we appreciate that. That helps us go a long way in funding our podcast.
As well as all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. This includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
And these poor guys have to sit through this 4 more times. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And
I'm Dammit, Dom.
I'm Gamehead Geek.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.